Hi, I'm Pauline. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to make Tic Tac Toe game, or it's also called crosses and notes. I'm sure you know how to play, but let's create it on Scratch. I also show you how to optimize your code, create functions, remove some repeated parts, and make your program more readable and easy to understand even for those who will see your code for the first time. So let's start to create our game. As usual, we start with Little the cat and let's create new sprite. In our game, playfield contains of 9 cells. So let's create sprite. Let's draw it. Fill with white color, outline, choose rectangle. I hold shift to make it square. Okay, but I think it's a bit, let's make it smaller. Alright, will be the first costume, empty. Then I duplicate and I will create cross sign. Let's make it green color. Choose line tool and make cross. Just rename the X and duplicate and create all. I choose these lines and delete them, and then choose something pink. Hold shift, put it in the center. Alright, so I have sprite, let's rename it to cell, and 3 costumes, empty, cross and note. First, when the green flag clicked, we should switch costume to the empty, and let's create playfield. In our game we have 3 rows and each row contains 3 cells. Of course we could duplicate just sprite and create 9 sprite, but we will be wiser and we will use clones. So first our cell in the start position, for example something here, in the motion I choose go to X and Y. Then I need create clones. I need create clone 3 times here, here and here. So I choose also, loop repeat 3 times, create clone of myself. And each time after I create clone here, then I move to this place and then create clone here. So in a motion I need block change X, it's a coordinate X which is show us horizontal position, X by, we need about I think 100 to change. Okay, yeah, I think it's all right, maybe a little bit more with 105. Yeah, all right. After we create 3 clones, this actual sprite should go down and create 3 clones here. So after this we need to return X in the start position like it was here. So let's set X to minus 116 like here, and we also need to change Y position, change Y by the same because we go down minus 105. Let's check. Yeah, here we are. We should go again and create clones in a row. So, and because we need 3 rows, we need repeat all of this 3 times. Let's check. Great, we have our playfield. After this our actual sprite should hide, and when I start as a clone we should show. Great, now we need to change costumes when we click on the cell. So we're going to events and choose when the sprite clicked. Then we need to change X or O. So when the first player, we need to change to X. When the second one, to O. So we need to know which turn is. So let's create a variable. We click on make a variable. Let's call it player. Okay, and we will check. If player is equal 1, then we switch costume to X. Else, it means the player is the second one, we switch costume to O. And we also should change turn to the second player. So we set player 2, and there's another one we return to the first one. So let's check. And of course, when the green flag click, we should set player to the first one. So here it is. Great, but if I click the same cell, it changes costumes. We don't want this. Before we change costume, we should check. If the costume is empty, we can do it. If it's not, we will not change costume. So we need another if, and we should check if costume number is equal to the first one. You can check it, click on the cell, go to costumes, and you will see that empty is the first costume. The one, then we can do this. Let's check. So see, I click and nothing happened because I already click on this. Great. And now we need to check winning combinations. In the Tic Tac Toe game, we have 8 combinations, 8 variants how player can win. So the first variant, when you have the same values of each cell in a row, in the first row, second row, and the third row, or in the columns, the 3 columns or 2 diagonals. So for checking all these combinations, we need to know number of the cell, that we will know that the first cell, the second cell, the third cell contains X. So for doing this, we should go to variables and create a variable for this sprite only, because each cell is a clone, and if using clones, we need local variables in Scratch. We call it for this sprite only number. When the green flag click, we set number to the first one and then change number by 1. You will see number. If you want to check if cell really knows their number, you can check it just, for example, say number, and you will see that each cell, for example, its cell knows that he's the first one, it's 5th, number 9, 7, 6, 3. Great, it's work. So let's remove this. Now we should check all these combinations. First, we need to save values of each cell and then compare it to each other, and we will see if there are any winning combination. So how to save these values? I suggest create a list. We'll make a list. Let's just call it a list. Doesn't matter. And in this list, we will save all these values of the cell. First, we need to delete all of the list. It should be empty. When we create clones, let's fill our list with empty spaces. Just add scene to list, but not scene. Let's just click on the space bar and it will be some empty. Alright, so in our list we have 9 items, and each item, the first one is the first cell, the second one and the second one, and so on. So we need to put inside. If I click, for example, on the first cell, it should show me that here is X. For example, I click here and O, and the fifth item should be shown O. We need a block replace item, and when I click on the cell, I know which number of the cell, so I go to variables, choose number, and I replace item number, for example, the first one of this list with, when I click on the first player click, it's always X. So when I click, and when the first player clicked, we replace on the X. I just duplicate, and here I replace with O. Let's check. So for example, I click here, and you will see the second item in the list, X, 6, O, 7X. So now in our list we have values X or O, and now we just simply need to check all the combinations. Let's create if conditions. The first one, it's when we have a row. The first, second and 3 is equal. Let's create it for X. In the variables, when our blocks for list, we have block item, and we should check if item 1 of list equal X, duplicate, item 2 it's X, item 3 is X. I need to combine all of this with add AND operator. We need 3, that's why I choose the first and and this AND operator put here, and you see I have 3 gaps. I drag it and put inside. Be careful. Great. And then I put it to the if. Then I duplicate, and let's check the second row. The second row is 4, 5 and 6. 4, 5, 6. Duplicate. The third row, it's, I think you already know, it's 7, 8 and 9. Great. Now we can duplicate this. Let's check columns. The first column is 1, then 4 and what? 7. Alright. Then the second 2, 5 and 8. The third one is 3, 6 and 9. Great. And 2 diagonals. The first diagonal is 1, 5 and 9. And the second one is 3, 5 and here 7. Great. And if one of these conditions is true, we need to broadcast a message that X won. We will change backdrop and stop the game. So let's create broadcast message and create new message. Just we can simply call it X, and I will duplicate this to all my conditions. Great. Now I can duplicate this and change everything for O, and I will have in my program 2 very similar scripts. But in the programming, we really want to reduce all the repeated items and make our code optimized, shorter, because it's more easy to understand it, to read it, and to control it, to manage it. How we can optimize this but not repeating all of this? We can use functions. So click on the pink one, my blocks, and let's make a block. Let's call it check win. Okay, when we create a block, we have it here on our sidebar. We can drag and use it in our program, but we need to define, so we need to tell the Scratch what is inside, what do this block check win. So I just drag it and put it together. So our check win will do this, so it will check X winning combination. What I can do if I want also not just X but O, let's right click on the define, edit, and let's put kind of variable to our function. Let's call it player. So here we are, we have check win player, and our check win block, you see some gaps, some fields that we can put something inside. For example, it will be great that I just put inside X, and it means that I will check my X combinations. And the second one, I will check O. I put my value here, and it means that in this moment my player is equal to X. I think you already know that you just need to change here X to player, and now you can type to the player both values X and O. Great. And now in the broadcast we also need two messages, broadcast X or broadcast O. So I also put a variable here. Now we have a great function that check win, and we can also combine these two functions to the one, and just make a block win and define it with these functions. And now we need to use this block win after we click on the cell. So with the first player we switch costume, replace, and then let's check the winning. Great. The last thing that we need to do before we will start checking our combinations is broadcast messages. Let's go to backdrops and create a new backdrop. The first one, it will be X1, and let's just type it. And also we can have a draw. Great. And let's also click on the cell. When the green flag clicked, switch backdrop to the first one. When I receive X, we should switch backdrop to X1 and then stop all. I duplicate, receive new message O, yes, switch backdrop to O1, and we also need to receive message draw and change backdrop to draw. We will create a condition for this one, but let's check if it's working for X and O. So I would try create the first row. Yeah, X1. Let's create for O's. Yeah, O1. Great. Cool, our game is almost ready. Let's just create draw condition. It's when we click on all the cell and it's no winning combination. So we need another variable. Let's call it counter. With the green flag click, we set counter to 0. And after we click on the sprite, we need to change counter to the 1. Yeah, let's see how counter changes. Yeah, you see, it's a draw. I click on all the cells and it's no winning combination. Counter is 9. So it's a simply if counter is 9, and then we broadcast draw. I just also suggest here put wait 1 second, because sometimes win combination haven't checked everything yet and change counters already changed, and when X wins in the last on the last click on the last cell, sometimes it's not working. So but when you put wait 1 second, it will work. Great! Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sure you can be proud of yourself because it's not easy to create this game, and you found out a lot today. You can also share links to your project in the comments. I would like to see it. Thank you again. See you next time. Bye.